Hi everybody, it's Thea and welcome back to Garden Goddess Tarot, and we're back at it for the monthly tarot roundup. And by monthly I mean zodiacal season-y. We're actually kind of well into Gemini season right now, but Taurus season was a blast. It was so busy, it went by in like a blur. And I'm excited to kind of share with you what I kind of got up to. The mandatory garden update we will skip because we're well in the middle of the wonderful series I'm doing with Candy Soul and Soil, which is probably the first thing I want to talk about. We're doing a Garden Arcana Tarot in the Garden mashup series, one video every week for like 7 weeks. The new one will be out Friday. And we're just kind of finding the major arcana in the garden. So you'll get all the garden updates, all of the tidbits of wonderful garden sneak peeks and progression and growth and change. It'll all be in those videos. So I've been having a great time with those. If you haven't seen them, definitely go have a look. I'm very proud of them. And they're fun, and it's just a great way to kind of, you know, apply tarot to the world, which is ultimately what I love to do. But yeah, having a great time with Candy doing that, and we will continue to for another month or so. So excited. Otherwise, it's been kind of a month of decks. My practice has been very my practice. I've been really like hunkering down on what I love and what I like, but at the same time there's been new stuff coming in, but I'm taking my time introducing myself to it. So I was gonna make this just a straight up Taurus season deck haul, which seems to be what happens to me every year. I don't know if it's just I'm kind of, this is one of the things that I'm like realizing as I explore my way through the world through this new lens of spiritual awareness, so to speak. But anyway, we throw all the earth signs, right? It's Taurus season. Of course, I'm gonna be more interested in seeing what's out and about in the material realm. Christmas lands right in Capricorn season. Back to school shopping / that like early fall want to buy sweaters urge that I have lands firmly in Virgo season. So it makes sense to me that this is how things work. So surprise, surprise. But anyway, every year Taurus season rolls around, I find myself having a great time exploring new things, and I want to share a few of them with you today. I'm not probably gonna show all of them, just some, and get an idea of the vibe, because I'm having a really good time with some of the treasures, and they all kind of, the ones that I've been trying out are kind of all within the same kind of umbrella. So we'll explore that throughout this video. It'll be fun. But like my practice specific, like I'm still Davis of Creation every day, Kim Krans Alchemy Oracle every day, RWS when I need it, Hellenic Oracle, Ritual Tarot. Like those ones are all in regular rotation as per usual. But one that I've kind of, there's a new practice that I've kind of started by accident that I like am unable to stop. And that is involving these two decks right here, which I just sewed some very cute little charms on the bags. This is my tried and true loved little friend. This is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and I've been using this alongside its matching oracles, which is in this bag, every evening, just about every evening when I get the time. Sorry, there's a blue jay up the window. It's so gorgeous. Every evening with a sound bath. So I'll put on specifically a very low-key, gentle, like singing bowl sound bath. No guided meditation or anything. Usually just, you know, calming noise, visions of waves in the background, you know? And I'll pull one of the cards from the Messenger and Seeker Oracle combo, and then like 3 from the Dreams of Gaia, and then just like sink into the guidebook, really like get the most out of those cards. As opposed to like a quick surface read, I will like go in and do the thing with these. And it's just been, it's the perfect before bed card routine. Like you're not, this is my hug deck, right? It's very gentle, this one. It's not abrasive, it's not hard, it's not like, it usually doesn't bring up very like intense emotions, but it kind of gently explores kind of where you're at the time. So I've been, yeah, I love it. And like, it's not you're still, like, I'm still dealing with stuff. Like, I'm still, anything that's going on will be brought up. Like, there's no avoiding it. If it's there, it's gonna come out. But at the same time, just the approach it takes to dealing with those thoughts and feelings and actions and behaviors and desires and sort of, it's just brilliant. So those mixed with the accompanying oracle cards from Raven Feelin. I've been putting updates on my Instagram page just so you can kind of see the vibe. And the YouTube channel that I've been really liking, it's relatively new actually. I think, what's it called? No Secrets, Just Sound. I'll link it in the down bar, but it's just, she's been putting out these really like glorious, like 20-minute sound baths, which is perfect for before bed because I don't want to sit there for like 3 hours. You know, that's a lot of time. I'd rather, like, the 20 minutes is just perfect. I'm actually kind of sad when they're over usually because I, like, by then I want them to be longer. But it's just been so nice, and, you know, a little bit cheesy. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's so comforting. It's so lovely, and I've just, yeah, been enjoying the heck out of it. So the Raven Feelin decks, the Messenger and Secret Oracle together here, and then the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which has been a forever love for me. A great combo, and like a beautiful little before bed ritual, which I've been, like, I look forward to it. I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna pull my cozy cards tonight. If I were to do the cozy decks tag, these would be pretty high up on that list for cozy decks. So Raven Feelin decks doing the thing. Another oracle deck that's this is a very cozy deck too, and this is one that may not be for everybody, but I really like it just for, I don't know, the kind of messages that I go to when I'm looking for a more spiritually minded reading as opposed to like a practical analytical type of one. This is a very watery deck. This I wanted it for a while. It's a gorgeous Blue Angel deck that smells delicious. And this deck is called The Prophet, an oracle card set, which is based off of Khalil Gibran's masterpiece, The Prophet. Cute, short, concise little story that is full of so much wisdom and so much guidance and so much, I don't know, just the way it is written, it's that kind of like openly spiritual that I really like, but it's not religious. It's very like universal, right? It can apply to anybody, anywhere. It's really beautiful, and I'm like, this is one of those things that I love it so much that I'm like hesitant to talk about it in case someone doesn't like it or like is vocally negative about it. I don't want it to taint my experience with it at all. That's another thing to be said about like sharing our spiritual practices online. We're not beholden to anybody. You don't have to share anything if you don't want to. Like, it's your space. If you have the gumption and the courage to put yourself out in the universe like this, don't feel like you have to share anything if you don't want to. You are entitled to keep as much private as you want, no matter how much people in the comments demand certain things, right? Obviously, you're more than welcome to engage with your followers and subscribers in whatever way you choose, but just remember that if you're uncomfortable sharing something or you want to keep something to you are welcome to do that. And I gotta be good about remembering that too. That being said, I'm going to share a little bit about this particular oracle deck. Some of the cards are landscape. I know that's a thing some people don't necessarily enjoy, but I don't really mind with this deck. But it's in this little guidebook there is a full, like, the Prophet. It's not very long. The full write-up of the Prophet is in here, so you don't even have to buy the book. It's in here already. You can read it. And the original artwork that went with it is the images on the cards. And can we talk about these backs? They're amazing. Love them. So it's concise, it's gentle, it's soft. It's just, it's a great concept for an oracle deck. So the messages are deep but comforting. It's emotional deck. As I said, it's very watery. There's a phrase and then a keyword too, and it really gives you the opportunity to kind of like sit with that message and think about it and you know, roll it around in your brain, see how it fits in your life, see where that message is supposed to land for you, and it's really beautiful. And they for me, they've been coming up right when I need them. It's landing really right and feels good. Yeah, give not of wisdom, but of faith and lovingness. So like major concepts, major kind of life actions and stages are all covered in this little spiritual philosophy, and it's really nice. Like, it's not, there's no specific religious overtones. Mentions God a couple times, but like in my brain it just means like the universe, which is how I experience that information. But yeah, let your best be for your friend. Sing to me a deeper song, both farewell and endings. The gates of his heart were flung open, coming of the ship. The land and the sea shall be bountiful, buying and selling. You know, stuff that like we have to navigate all the time, about money and earning and teaching and loving and parenting and, you know, pain and loss and suffering. It all offers a just very poetic and beautifully written spiritual message, and I've been really liking using it. It's a hug deck. It's a cozy deck. It's very comforting. To you, the earth yields her fruit. Doesn't she? So generous. Unconditional. The ocean laughs always, with you, the innocent. It links the chapter of the book that it's referenced, so you can go in and read the whole chapter around that card if you want, or just stick to the little blurb of message that's in the front part of the book. It's really great. I quite like it. I'm having a great time. Very, you know, glad that it's a part of my life and practice now. It fits really well. So that is the Prophet Oracle. I guess it's by Khalil Gibran. there's no other information in it other than what's found in the book, and the artwork pertained to it. It's just been restructured into like an oracle deck, so that's wonderful. Very beautiful. Good old Blue Angel coming in hot. And before we get into like the full-on vibe of what things have been kind of like these days, my plant-related practice is going gangbusters. It's, you know, full on spring right now. I've been making flower essences. I made a violet and an apple one so far. It's great. And this Garden Arcana series with Candy is just so much fun and wonderful. And she showed and recommended this deck in one of her recent videos, and it was, as she said, cheap as chips. It was like 20 bucks. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give that a try. I have the hardest time finding plant decks. And I actually, for how much I love plants, I really don't have that many plant decks. And the ones I have are not meant to be oracle decks. They're reference cards for various types of plants. I have this Nature's Pharmacy one, which is just plant flashcards, and I use that as an oracle. And this one is a floriography flashcard deck. So they're, you know, the picture of the plant on the front, and then just like a write-up of what that plant means in like the Victorian language of flowers. And I use that as an oracle, but I'm pretty sure the creators of this deck had no intent for it to be used like that. Maybe they did. I don't know. But yeah, this is it. Fritillaries. Love them. Little snake's head fritillaries. So cute. They're oil paintings of plants. So again, very beautiful, very stunning, very... I love, you know, I love a painted deck. Anyone who's been here a hot second knows I got a soft spot for them. So, yeah, they're stunning. Hyacinth. It's got the Latin name. It's got a keyword, which I guess maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think a deck like this was intended to be used for like an oracle deck purpose, or is it just like flashcards reference to the language of flowers? Like you're supposed to thumb through them and put like bouquets together and arrangements together with their underlying meaning taken into account. Very curious. But yeah, and then there's a little write-up about the plant. There's also references to its mythological origin. So it's great. I quite like it. My biggest thing with plant decks is they tend to be really... I'm sad because I could never have a plant deck with all the plants I wanted in it because it would be too big. I always feel like, oh, you've left so many out, but just because there's so many wonderful plants in the world, I've come to the understanding that I'm never going to have a deck with all of the plants that I want unless I make it. And even then it'll be too big and not useful. So I feel like when I work with plant energy, I'm better off to not do it in the context of cards. Like I prefer to actually grow the plant in the garden and then use it however I choose to that way. But we're gonna give this one a go. So far I kind of like it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, thank you Candy for the heads up on that one. I'm very glad I was able to locate it, but I don't know, maybe just like pulling a flower from a deck of cards is different than like experiencing it in the world in time and like coming across that flower in the wild, so to speak, and then getting the message in a real world context as opposed to a on the reading table context. Especially because plants are so seasonal, right? My plant practice is so seasonal. So if it's like the depths of winter and I come across like, well, let's see, Clematis card, I'm not gonna feel like that's not where we're at seasonally, right? Like, but as opposed to experiencing that plant in its time, like obviously it's still alive, it's just asleep. So like any flower I pull in the wintertime would be like, oh great, this energy is currently asleep. Not useful to me right now. But like experiencing the flower in their time as they grow and bloom in real life is more important for me, I think, than like experiencing the flower out of its season. If that makes sense. I hope so. Anyway, this deck, Florography deck, is cute. Thank you Candy for the heads up. I will like and use it, but I don't know. I got a weird thing about plant decks. If you have a favorite plant deck, there's some audience participation here. If you have a favorite plant deck that you like, please tell me what it is and why you like it so much, because I'm very open to trying some to see if I can find one that fits the way I want. But I'm really not sure. I'm very hesitant about them, so please let me know. Please educate me. I would like to understand and give that a try. But yes. Florography deck, very beautiful. All right, and now we're gonna get into kind of the vibe. The what right now is feeling, and brace yourselves because this is gonna feel like a 180. This is gonna feel different. This is gonna feel weird, and you're gonna be like, what? But that's okay, because sometimes I do that to myself. Actually, often I do that to myself. Do it to myself all the time. I surprise myself with new perspectives, new endeavors, new desires, new things that I otherwise might have not shunned, but just not considered. So, it all started with this. I was vaguely curious about this. This is the Mystic Palette Tarot, Sepia edition by Ciro Marchetti, which nobody is ever sure if they say right, so that's just what I'm going to say for now. Yes, a muted toned edition, Mystic Palette Tarot, indie deck, available on his website and through Etsy. Etsy's where I got it, because Canada. This is beautiful. Ciro Marchetti decks, since I began researching and getting into tarot in the wanting to learn about all the different ways people see tarot in how they create decks kind of way. Ciro Marchetti, all of his decks kind of sat within a very like old school fortune tellery predictive reading kind of space for me. That's who I saw using it, right? All of the fan base of Ciro Marchetti decks are very traditional tarot reader. Like if, you know, you were at a Renaissance fair, you walked up, you sat in the tent, hands down, that person is gonna have a Ciro Marchetti deck and it's gonna be beat to heck. It's gonna be used and abused and loved and read with in a very specific and wonderful way. And I always saw those decks as that. And for a time I thought, well, that's not me. I read differently, these ones are not for me. And then one morning I woke up and I said, that perspective on tarot, that slight bit of camp that tarot reading encompasses within itself, I would like to embrace that feeling instead of pushing it away as less than, because it is not, and it never has been. It should be celebrated as a part of tarot's rich and diverse history. So I dove headfirst into the world of Ciro Marchetti, and I started with this deck, and I've been loving his work. it's amazing. It's I think too, as he came to deck creation from a space of not a tarot reader, which is so interesting that tarot readers jumped on his work so much. I think because it's so clear. There isn't like regular Golden Dawn traditional decks. There's not layers for days. It's not cryptic at all. It's clear. And it's easy to read, which makes it great for reading in public and for clients because there's no sitting and wondering. It's beautiful. His ability, this is his most recent deck, I believe, and his digital collage has gotten incredible compared to one of the earlier ones too, which I'll show in a second. It's beautiful. I love the takes on cards. He's made so many decks by now. He's getting very creative with the interpretations of the cards just based on his own experience, which is wonderful. Particularly this color palette in this edition is, it's gorgeous and beautiful. It's soft and comforting. It's easy to read. It feels like a tarot deck. Backs are cool too. The other thing that really sold me on this one is there are astrological associations right on the card, and they're easy. They're right there. You can read them if you want. You could ignore them if not. Like, it's great. It's a tarot deck. It's not super themed. All of his decks have a little bit of like a carnival-y feel about them, but it's not overpowering. It's just kind of there. And it's still kind of there in this one, but it's more subtle. I don't know, it's just beautiful. I don't know how else to describe it. I just am loving it so much. It feels right now, and I've just kind of fallen happily into that tarot reader headspace where it's like, I don't really feel like I want a deck with 8 million layers. I don't want to have to like search through the file folders in my brain of mythological references to tell stories. I just want to read tarot, and this deck does it. I guess you could say it's like a Rider-Waite-Smith clone in that regard, but I wouldn't consider it a Rider-Waite-Smith clone per se. It's just a RWS style. It's just a tarot. It's tarot. It is the tarot deck. So it's hard. It's a little bit tricky for me to shuffle because it is big and thick. If we want to talk specifically about the physical properties of it, but can be done. I need to edge it still, but it feels good. It's nice. I've been enjoying it. So I got that one, and I'm like, sweet. I kind of really like this. I'm liking this more than I thought I would. And then my little brain gets a bit curious and goes, well, I wonder what his other ones are actually like. Like maybe the bright colored, fun, sassy ones are. Let's give it a try. Let's try. I was feeling daring. It was Taurus season. I was like, let's try another one. Let's try this one. So I grabbed Tarot of Dreams next, which is a very interesting choice. It's an older one. I can't remember the year. I don't have the book with me. I want to say in like the 2010s or like I think it's 2010s, because Legacy of the Divine is the oldest one that I can, or is the Gilded Tarot. I don't know. He has a lot of decks. The more I'm like looking into it, I'm like, wow, this man, he makes so many tarot decks. And honestly, I'm in a like want to collect them all kind of headspace. We'll see if that ever happens. But for now, we're working with what we got. And look at these backs. Look at them. That's a good bag. One day I'll make a tarot back video. We will talk up and down about the pros and the cons, the goods and the bads and the uglies of tarot backs. But here's the front. So this is an older style digital collage. I've got reversals mixed in here already too, because it's an easy one to read reversals with, which is nice. It's very clear. We've got our astrological associations on here too. Very person focused, zoomed in up close. Black borders front, black borders back, so I've edged it in black. Looks gorgeous. But like, you can see why someone would consider it, like who's come to tarot more recently, would consider it a little bit more rudimentary per se, but I think that's just based on the time period that it came out of. Oh, there's also a bonus Tree of Life card, which we enjoy. But yeah, I like it. It is by no means like a shining achievement of tarot in the context of our expectations these days. But I like it. And that's another opportunity to just allow yourself to like what you like, and you don't have to justify it. You don't have to figure out why. You can just like things. There's no harm in liking something, really. You know, it's just a thing. And it'll exist whether you like it or not. And it's up to you to choose whether or not you're gonna use it. And that's kind of where I sit with this one. I like having it around. When I wanna, you know, tap into that particular corner of tarot's place in the world. Tarot of Dreams has got me. So I want to use this one to death. I can't wait till I'm like 75 and I'm still reading tarot and my hands are all old and wrinkly and I got these big rings on and I pull this deck out and it's all like really worn and soft and the edges are chipped and it looks like it's been through everything. That's a moment I look forward to. So I gave Tarot of Dreams a try. So we did Mystic Palette and then we went full the other way. We tried Tarot of Dreams and we're like, wow, what a vibe. What a mood. It's very of a time and place. It sets the scene. It felt very cozy and comfortable. And then I had a look around and I think I found the one. It was a little harder. I don't hear too many people talking about this particular Chiara Marchetti deck. And I think I saw it for the first time on Amidst the Greys channel. She's pretty great actually too. Check her out. But it's the Encore Tarot by Chiara Marchetti. This one I think is my Giro deck. I've been using the heck out of it the last couple weeks, I think. I've only had it a couple weeks. Keep in mind, all of these have come in within the last month, so they're very fresh and new to me, but because of the way Chiro makes decks, you could read them out of the box, no problem, if you know tarot. Guidebook is there if you want it. There's a bit extra in it if you'd like, but really the beauty and the joy of these tarot decks is just in the ease of use and the messages and the act of using them, as opposed to some decks are beautiful, but they're really complicated, and I tend to get more joy out of just working with them card by card, taking my time deep diving them, as opposed to a nice, cozy surface reader. So, the Encore Tarot. This is, I think you can get it as an indie deck on his website as well, which ends up being like $100 or something stupid. But I found it. This is the French edition. So there's a French mass market edition published by Editions Exurge. Pardon my weird pronunciation. I've never heard of this company before. But apparently they do. It feels like an indie deck. It's indie deck quality, but I found it on Amazon and it's the French edition. There's no English edition so far as I know. But anyway, I think it's still there. Anyway, it was like 30 some odd Canadian dollars, so I was like, sweet, this is the deal of the day. The book is in French. My French is not super great. I can read it if I really want to, but I think I'm okay. Like I've had a flip through, like I can kind of get what it's getting to, but I think with this deck, you really don't need it if you know tarot. These are the backs. Look at those. It's got this like crispy, shiny red edging. And it's matte. Does the shushy matte noise, which we like. It's a bit big. I cannot riffle shuffle this. I can waterfall it from the side. And I can riffle shuffle it in 2 chunks, but it's like stiff. Yeah. But it's just part of its personality, and I've come to really love and accept it for that. And there's these, like, I'm not gonna say heinous. I want to say heinous, but not. Just very jewel tone borders, and the art in it is a collection of his favorite art of the cards of all of the other decks he's made. So it's like a compilation deck of his own work, which I think for me, coming to his work later on is the way to go. Because yeah, there's work from the Gilded Tarot, Royale, the Legacy of the Divine, I think, and Tarot Grand Lux, and a few others. There's like, he reuses, like it's like a greatest hits album of his own work, which is great. But it's been recolored and redrawn to be a little bit more of a artistic, like pencil drawing-y style. Not pencil drawing, but it's got more texture. It's a little bit more soft. It's like an updated version. It was just a wonderful job of the Wheel of Fortune card too. It's just fun. Again, it's very, you hold it in your hands and you know this is the Chiro deck, and it just feels so wonderful, and I like it so much. I reach for that box and I'm like, yes, I want a tarot reading with this. Please and thank you. And it's great. No muss, no fuss. And there really is a place for these kind of tarot decks with like decks like the Marielle are deep and amazing and super spiritual and like feel like they're propelling you into outer space inside your head, you know? And then there's like the Marseille decks, which are very practical, very down to earth, very clear, very no muss, no fuss, like stripped away of any emotion, really. Because when you're looking at pips, you're just looking at pips. But a deck like this, oh, it fills the spot. It fills a place of fun and whimsy. It's serious and it's legit, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's fun, like a festival or a carnival. It's healthy curiosity. It's very fool. These decks are very fool, and the fact that Chiro uses that gesture imagery on so much of his work is really a reflection of kind of the ethos of his deck making style and work. It's just fun, and I love it. I'm really drawn to it for some fun reason. So that's the vibe for me right now. I'm having a Chiro moment. Let me know if you have ever used a Chiro Marchetti tarot deck. I'd love to know, and if so, which is your favorite and why. Sorry, I'm leaving you lots of homework for the comments today. My apologies. But yeah, if you like them or use them, or if you don't like them for some reason, please share. I'm very curious, because I feel like I don't hear enough about Chiro decks in TarotTube. What happened, guys? So yeah, a little bit campy. I'm in a like a little bit campy kind of mood, and it's probably going to continue for the rest of the summer. Oh, this Empress card. Look at that. Gorgeous. That's me. That's me all summertime. Flowers in the hair, surrounded by nature and shit. Been having a great time with all three of those. I might end up grabbing Tarot Grand Lux too, just because it's a cute little US Games one. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in like this weird little bit nostalgic space for a time in tarot I missed, because I was only reading with the RWS for so long, living my life blissfully unawares of all of the other genres of tarot that existed. I'm like coming to them now, and I've got this like weird, sad, longing nostalgia for a time that I didn't get to participate in. So I'm reliving it right now. And it's, I'm having so much fun. So, Chiro Marchetti. Very excited. Okay, and oh, on that note, okay, so we're in the slightly campy, a little bit ridiculous, digital collage mood, right? And then I discovered this. And this mixes a little bit, like, not campy on purpose, digital collage. Like, tarot from a time that I missed. That whole vibe exists within this deck. This is Tarot Apocalypsis by Eric C. Dunn. and Kim Hudgens, and they are the creators of the Tarot Illuminati as well, which is another infamous tarot deck among those type of readers. They're still out there. They're still on TarotTube. I just gotta find them. I gotta find some that read with these amazing old decks still. It makes me so happy. It's, again, that I'm in a Six of Cups space right now. But let's jump into this one, Tarot Apocalypse. This is the kit. So it comes with a big hardcover book, and I've got the deck wrapped right here. I'll show you it in a second. It's from, I can't tell you the year it was printed because I had to glue the pages together to keep it shut. When I first opened this, Coyote Tarot was visiting. We were hanging out. We actually had a really good time in town. Used bookstore, metaphysical shop, coffee. It was a great day. Had a wonderful time. And then she came back here, and a mail came. It was a new deck day, and this one came, and I opened it with her, and literally as I pulled this out of the box and cracked it open, the binding split, and the entire inside just fell out, and I'm like, this has been on a shelf for a little while, but I'm pretty sure this is 2017 or something. But anyway, this deck is that fun digital collage. It's got a like mytho-spiritual kind of undertone to it, and as soon as I saw the magician card in this, I was like, I'm getting this. Full disclosure though, I haven't actually used this yet. I had a lot going on, and as I said, I've been really like leaning into my usuals. But with the Chiro decks, the Dreams of Gaia at Night, I was kind of, cups were full, right? But I'll have lots of time to get into this, and I'm so excited. So, again, the backs, yes, a bit, it's of a time, right? It's the digital collage, it's the faces, the bright colors, the shiny gloss, the over-exaggerated physical specimens, you know? It's a vibe. I really like it. Mind you, I say I really like it. I like the idea of it. Haven't used it in practice just yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, it touches on a variety of different spiritual traditions throughout history. The major arcana are all deities from different pantheons, which we love. And then the minors, each suit has a different culture. So the wands are all Egyptian mythology. The swords are Norse mythology. The cups are Greek mythology, which another reason I should probably at least investigate. And then the pentacles are Hindu, I believe. It's the book, as you've seen, quite beefy, very large. There's like each card, including the minor arcana, has like 7 pages, and there's footnotes. I love it. So I was looking, and one of the first things I noticed when I looked in the book, there are references and footnotes on each page to like so much source material. There's a huge bibliography. Like, it's incredible. The information about mythology in this deck is impressive. Like, the cards might look a little bit silly, a little bit cheesy, like I gotta show you the 7 of Cups. I have to. It cracked me up into a million pieces when I saw it. But there is valuable information there. I just have to look past the ridiculousness of the image, you know? And it's not ridiculous in like a bad way. It's great, but I don't know, it's a very perspective shifting deck, and I want to get to know it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of messages it has for me specifically. There's a bonus card at the front as well, the all gifted, and it's Pandora with her box, which is actually a jar. But yeah. Oh yeah, the magician card, sorry. Here, it's a Kabbalistic magician. Look at him. Very cool. It's got a bit of the chariot mysticism kind of hidden in it as well, with the biblical angel with the eyes, the spinning eyes. Very cool. Like it a lot. And sorry, and the Fool's a Whirling Dervish, that made me happy too. I liked that. So anyway, bits of everything. is great. It's a vibe. It's a vibe and I'm here for it. So we're gonna give that a try. That's Tarotpocalypsis. Another oldie but a goodie. Oof, sorry. My foot just, you ever have your foot fall asleep and then you touch it and you're like, this foot doesn't belong to an alive person? That just happened to me and it was kind of scary actually. Like, that's what I'm gonna feel like when I'm dead. Weird. Anyway, it's back now. My foot hath returned to us, so we can continue. Yeah, just a couple other quick little whatnots. The Taurus season deck haul continues. One that I ordered a while ago, finally got here. This one. This is a really cool deck. And again, this kind of sits in that like nostalgia deck space. Like this isn't a new deck by any means. It's a very old deck actually. The first edition of this was made in like the 70s. And it's the fact that it's still in print is beautiful. This is the Mountain Dream Tarot by B. Nettles. And it is arguably the first ever photography tarot deck. And it's so cool. These are the backs. I think first, I can't remember if I saw it first on Meg's channel or Chrissy Bentley's channel, but both of them had great things to say about it. And then I looked into it and I started to read about it and I'm like, yeah, dang, that's cool. It's all of the, there's no special effects, right? The thing was made in the 70s. All of the, like the pentacles that you see on this had to be multiply exposed in the dark room to get the image. And it's so cool. She had to go around and like petition all her friends to be models in the cards. It's very like East Coast, kind of like Appalachia a little bit. It's very, you know, herbalist in the woods, I do believe someone has referred to it as. But I don't know, it's so cool. It's retro, but at the same time, like if someone told me it was made recently, I might believe them. The attention to detail in being able to create these scenes that are so tarot specific, it's beautiful. It reminds me a lot of the Drowning Worlds tarot. Might be interesting to do like a comparison of those two, just like out of context, because they're definitely not the same thing, but it's the same like staging of photography for tarot images. Same with the Somnia tarot, right? Like you gotta get it right for the shot, right? So it's so cool. Again, another easy reader. It's on wonderful cardstock. It feels like MPC Super Smooth cardstock to me, but could be wrong. But it's like, it's that kind of easy to shuffle tarot size. The there's like a, I say a filter, a firmly 2020s statement, but there's like a color cast to the different suits, so you can tell them apart easily. The wands are green. The majors are this purple color. The cups are a pinky red. The pentacles are like it's like a dark sepia blackish tone. And the swords are like a bluey. So they're easy enough to tell. They're beautiful. You can, I don't know, I really like the faces and getting a sense for the people in the cards to kind of hold the meaning of the message for you. It's a cool experience and I've really liked using it so far. So that's a new one for me too. That's the Mountain Dream Tarot by B. Nettles. It's fun. Oh, I you know, again, if you're sitting firmly in a nostalgia space with tarot, this is like, it's a cool one. It fits. So good. So I won't linger on that one too long, but very beautiful. Fills my cup. Oh, I like it a lot. The last one I'm going to talk about now is my most recent tarot acquisition, the last of the Taurus season deck haul. That's this one. It's Lioness Oracle Tarot by Alejandra Leon. And what got me on this one, the deck's cool. It's a really cool collage style deck from a few years back. It's been printed a couple times. 2016 was when this one, so it's not new by any means. I do believe the credit for where I found this one goes to Dawn Michelle. Saw it on her channel a while back and how she's been using it. But I think for me, what really sold me is the Lion Rose combo. As a Leo myself, I don't actually have a lot of tarot decks that I would class as Leo decks. It's a hard space for a deck to kind of sit in. I have a couple that do it, but I was kind of, my anticipation with this one was to have a deck that sat in that Leo space for me. So I'm now that I've received it, I'm not quite sure it does that. I think the outer space sort of setting of it, it's like lions in space, just due to the nature of the collage and the background she chose. Like some of it's landscape backgrounds, but most of it is like celestial, so it has a very celestial energy about it. And at first I thought it's going to be a great surface reader, you know, nothing not too much to chew on, you know. The steam of the essence of it kind of comes off as you're reading, as opposed to like jumping in to the pool of water. But as I use it, it's definitely got its own weird, quirky personality. And it does have a strong personality. The story behind the creation of the deck follows the creator through her grief journey of losing her dad, who was also a Leo. Their last name was Leon. It should be a very Leonian deck, but there's something else going on in there that I can't quite put my finger on, but I like it. It's quirky. The deck's personality is quite strong, distinctive, unique for sure. It doesn't feel like, I know it's a collage deck, I've got a bunch of them, but it doesn't feel like any of the other ones I've got. The cardstock is also unshuffleable. A little bit of a theme. I think I only have like 2 decks here that I can shuffle the way I usually do, but that's fine. I either just section it off in chunks, shuffle it, or just overhand it like a normal person. But it feels, it's got a very 2016 tarot vibe about it, just in the production of it, which is neat. It's a little bookmark in tarot history right there. But maybe the more I'm looking at it now, I'm getting that, as I've just pulled a bunch of cards covered in jewels and beads and lions, and I guess it does have, there is Leo in there, the part of Leo that I don't fully embrace. You ever notice that? I don't know if it's just because it's my sign and I pay more attention to it or not, but like the social media memes about astrology, they always get, not that they get Leo wrong, but like they just kind of stop at, they're full of themselves. Like, anything else maybe? Ooh, I like to be the center of attention. Is that it? Like, I don't know, other signs get a lot more nuance and depth and fun references, and Leos are just, you know, like, I feel like we've been done dirty by Instagram astrology memes. But yeah, no, that's fun. It's great. If I could do it again, I probably wouldn't make the purchase, because I did get dinged with a pretty hefty customs bill on the way in. So just so you know, if you're in Canada and you do decide to get it, they ship with UPS, and UPS always catches customs every time. But if you're in the States, it's a perfectly reasonably priced deck. So it's not on the creator's fault, it's just in the method of transport and international boundaries and other weird things that we have to navigate in this world that we live in. So anywho, that is the Linus Oracle Tarot, and it's also a vibe, and looking forward to getting to know it a little bit better. I'm actually kind of feeling like it might pair really nicely with the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot too. Actually, very curious. Just an idea I just had in my brain. Yeah, I'm hoping that one ends up a special place in the practice going forward. But again, no pressure. There's a lot going on here, and what ends up shining for me is usually even a surprise to me when it happens. So So that's like the majority of the Taurus season decal, what the new things that have found their way into my life, the avenues I wanted to explore, the moods I was experiencing via tarot, the universes I was plunging myself into. And who knows, maybe I'll get lost in them, lose myself entirely. Who knows? But I don't know, it is a nostalgia space for sure though. And I wonder why. I gotta do some work around why I'm being weirdly nostalgic all of a sudden. And actually, it's the other thing that I kind of found myself getting really curious and excited about is nostalgia related as well. So that's it, officially. Big flashing sign. The vibe right now is nostalgia. Cassette tapes. Oh my gosh, guys, I've been having the greatest time. So this happened by accident. The universe kind of threw this new old interest, a special interest one might say, in my hands. I was out with my sister. We were just wandering around the local town and there was a new record store that went in right next to the herbal shop, and I was there walking down the street going to the herbal shop to look in and pick up a few more flower essences, like you do. And we're like, let's go into the record store and just see, right? They had some amazing old band tees and a wall of records, a wall of CDs, old music, VHS, and DVDs too. Like if you wanted concerts on DVD, he's got them. Anyway, there was also a little cassette tape rack, and I touched one and something went off in my brain, and it went, Thea, you remember, don't you? And just anyway, in that moment, I grabbed a stack of cassette tapes. I went home. I found myself somewhere where I could buy a tape player because there is none in my house anymore. And I've just been having the most tactile music experience. And I've been very selective about the tapes I've been bringing in. So I've been like curating my tape collection to be a part of the way I do things, and it's been so great. So got a whole bunch of Enya. Tapes are kind of, and it's treasure hunting, right? You don't just go into a store and find tapes anymore usually, other than apparently an old record store. It's been so long since I've seen any anywhere. I've been talking to my dad. He brought over his crate of old tapes that he hasn't touched in like 30 years. Maybe not 30. At least 15. It's been a while since any of those saw daylight. So I've been playing around with those, but I've kind of got my little like sacred feminine, sacred masculine music crate full of my tapes. So excited. But I just, the wibbly audio, it's incredible. This thing's got AM FM radio in it too. I can record. It's got a headphone jack. Anyway, I've just been having the most fun with cassette tapes. And it's cassette tapes and Giro Marchetti decks. I'm loving it. It's so good. It's, I don't know, arguably worse. Someone could say, well, the sound quality on that's terrible. And I'm like, I don't care. I love it. I've got Spotify. I have access to all the music I could ever want. But something about the process of intentionally selecting a cassette tape, the tactile experience of putting it in the machine, hitting the button, listening to it, front to back, flipping over the tape so you can listen to the other half of it. It's portable so I can carry it around outside when I'm in the garden, listening to my Tori Amos, my Enya, Stevie Nicks, Cher. I'm just having the best freaking time. Oh, and Leonard Cohen. And Eddie Vedder. Like, it's great. So anyway, I'm discovering this now. I don't know why I did not put two and two together with this situation, but it's a nostalgia space right now for sure. And I love it so much. So tell me also if you are feeling this same like pull of nostalgia and how you are dealing with it, how you are navigating it. What kind of things are lighting you up in the nostalgia department? I'd like to know. Anywho, that's the Taurus season deck haul, tarot roundup for this particular month, 2023. Looking forward to Gemini season. Believe it or not, usually it's a bit much. The decans in Gemini season are not a fun time. 8, 9, 10 of swords, but lots to be learned there. We'll follow along with Marlene and Teresa's decan walk. Get the full deets, but anywho, thank you so much for being here. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it so much, and I'll see you in a couple days for the next Garden Arcana video.